Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and today you are getting the return of the Naruto Adventure TBR game, or if you're new or am not familiar with BookTube, the game that I use to determine what books I read for the following month. So here we go. The month of June, before I went through my 3-month Full Metal reading challenge, I had a certain amount of books. In this month, I was given a really cool reward for finishing all of my May books on that TBR. And it was that I could combine all my cards or prompts together, because in this game you can't usually do that. One book equals one card. And yes, I squandered that. I did not read very much in June at all. I read a lot of manga, but I didn't read towards my TBR. I don't know what was going on in June, so I squandered that really amazing reward, and so I failed June. But for June, I had Witchborn, Nation of the Sun, and Warbreaker. Out of these, I think the only one I finished in June was Warbreaker, and here we are. So my bad. So I am going to be taking a punishment for October, and so here is the slides that I'm going through, and I will put it up right here. So this screen is basically pass or fail, and I'm going to be hitting fail because I failed. Now that everyone is back in the village, a new issue has arisen. After Sasuke receives his curse mark from Orochimaru during the Chunin exams and called weak by his brother Itachi during their search for Tsunade, Sasuke decides he wants more power. Find your player and carry the punishment over to the next month. I am Naruto, and that is to read a book I've been putting off. So I have to include a book that I've been putting off with whichever cards I have to be picking for this following month's TBR. Up next is Sasuke Recovery Mission. Click Orochimaru to continue, so I'm going to click Orochimaru to continue. Sasuke leaves the village, and his actions have consequences for everyone. Click your character to continue. As you all know, or unless you are new here to my channel, I am playing as Naruto because he's literally the best. For this month, some of the characters clash a little bit, and so this slide has Sasuke and Naruto, but I am playing as Naruto, so that is the side I'm going to be focusing on. Sasuke and Naruto fight. Sasuke uses his Chidori that Kakashi taught him, and Naruto uses his Rasengan, which Jiraiya taught him. And before they can clash, Kakashi kind of puts a kibosh on that idea, deflecting both of their attacks into giant water tanks behind them. Though Sasuke's Chidori made a larger impact on the front, Naruto's Rasengan blew out the entire backside of his water tank, or the water tank that Kakashi threw his Rasengan into. Sasuke is and then enraged basically that he realizes that he would have lost if Kakashi didn't deflect both of their moves. For Naruto, we are going to pick one card, and then we're going to click Naruto to continue. After Sasuke leaves, Naruto joins a 5-man team, and this team is led by Shikamaru and then has Kiba, Choji, and Neji, and they unfortunately have to battle it out with Orochimaru's henchmen. We're gonna pick an additional one card and then click Naruto to continue. Naruto catches up to Sasuke. Sasuke's curse mark activates while Naruto's basically 9-tail seal, it basically falters, and the cloak then appears over Naruto. The legendary fight at the Valley of the End then takes place. I will have to pick an additional 2 cards playing as Naruto. Naruto's 9-tail fox cloak appears, and for a long time he is beating Sasuke, but Sasuke does end up knocking Naruto unconscious. And we're going to click Naruto to continue. Kakashi is late to the game. Why is Kakashi always, late? Kakashi sticks to his true self, and he is late to the game and shows up to find unconscious Naruto and takes Naruto back to the village. While Naruto is in the hospital, he declares after Sakura arrives and he has to break it to her that he did not bring Sasuke back with him, that he will indeed keep his word no matter what in bringing Sasuke back to the village. We are going to pick an additional card, making the total 5 cards, and then we will come back to this slide at the end of the month to hit pass or fail. So now we are picking our cards. I'm so excited. These are the cards I have left. These are the cards I've already picked this year in my previous Naruto TBR games, and I thought it would be nice to put them aside so I can pick as many cards as possible throughout this TBR game. We are going to pick a total of 5 and then we're going to see what we have, keeping in mind my punishment to read a book that I've been putting off. So here we go. If you remember correctly, each card is 1 book like I was saying. That is just kind of the rules of the game, but it's not like anyone's keeping track, so you could play your own way and pretty much do whatever you want. But this is my game and I'm gonna make it a little bit more difficult for myself because I have a problem. Okay, so we're gonna break the deck and pull out this guy. Hibiki, read a book about deception. Okay. And we're going to pick another one. Conan, read a book over 500 pages. You've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding me. Wow. Okay. Thankfully, in October, I have a 2-week quarantine in Tokyo, and I'm gonna be able to read a lot. So, oh boy. Okay. Shizune, read a 2020 release. Okay, I'm gonna have to research that one. And next, Kushina, read a book with a beautiful cover. And is that 4 or 5? That is 4. Okay. One more. Okay, here we go. Please be nice to me. Ibisu. Lowest rated book on Kindle TBR. Okay, I'm gonna be using my Kindle a lot during my time in Japan. So this is good, it's just lowest rated book on Kindle TBR. That is not a favor. That is a punishment. So I am going to go see and research, because some of these I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on, and I will be back shortly. Okay, I am back. I did my research. I have the books. Okay, so what should I start with? I picked 5 cards, but I'm going to have 6 books on this TBR. Like I said, I am going to be in Tokyo quarantine, and I should be able to read a bunch because I'll have nothing else really to do. And so, yes, let's start with the biggest book, which is for Conan, and it is to read a book over 500 pages. For this one, I am going with my plane/quarantine book. So this is the book I'm taking specifically for the plane ride, and it is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I don't know a whole lot about this. I know it is a high epic fantasy with the dragons and some super like intense war plot, battle scenes, and everything in between, political intrigue, so on and so forth. Almost everyone I've heard has absolutely adored this book. Most of my booktube friends have adored this book, and I'm really excited for this adult epic high fantasy dragon political war book. I heard it's kind of brutal and gruesome, and you know what? I'm ready for it. The next 2 books I'm going to talk about together because one of them is my punishment to read a book that I've been putting off basically, and the other one is for one of the TBR cards, and that is to read a 2020 release, but they are part of the same series. I think it's a duology. I wasn't a huge fan of The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh when I first read it the first time. I adore this matte cover, but the sticker won't come off and you can see all the fingerprints. There's a plane. But this follows a young girl who moves from Paris? Is it Paris? Yes, Paris to New Orleans after she kills a man who attempts to sexually assault her. And so she moves to New Orleans. She crosses the pond over to the New World. It is set in 1872, and this is supposed to be like a vampire underworld, dark, historical kind of fantasy. And so here we are. I found it extremely atmospheric, but extremely slow, and I feel like the marketing was a little misleading when I read it the first time. So now that I know exactly what I'm going into, I'm hoping that I will enjoy it a little bit more this time, but we will have to see. And then to read a 2020 release, I am going with The Damned. I can get both of these books on Libby, but I thought I would hold them up in this video because I also own them, but I will not be taking them to Japan with me. Like I was saying, I think this is a duology, and this would be the conclusion of the duology, and it did come out in 2020. Next is Kushina, and it is to read a book with a beautiful cover. This one is another reread for me, but I really want to go on with the series, and I know book 3 is coming out relatively soon. So I am going to be rereading Girls of Paper of Fire. I love these covers. covers this series by Natasha Nan, and it was absolutely fantastic. This book's main theme is kind of the theme of concubines, and it follows a young girl who is basically taken from her family and is forced to be a concubine at the kingdom. This is sapphic, and it was a really good book. No going in that there is a very horrible like animal scene near the beginning. Now that I know about it, I think it's gonna be easier for me to read it, but when I first read it, I was like, holy crap, I can't handle this. So yes, this is a concubine themed book. It's dark, it's pretty gruesome, and it deals with a lot of other dark themes, including trauma and like PTSD and so on and so forth. But I am really excited to reread the first book so I can finally go on with the rest of the series. This is another book that I can get off of Libby, but I will not be taking it to Japan with me. My fourth card is Ebisu, and that is to read the lowest book on my Kindle TBR. And for this one, I am going with Kingdom Cold by Brittany Chanel. It follows a young princess and how her engagement starts is attempted murder, basically. And it seems like the only thing she has in common with her new fiance, the prince, is that basically the only feelings they have towards each other is discontent. When Princess Charlotte's kingdom is attacked, her parents renegotiate the terms, and instead of her marrying the prince, she is now betrothed to a very handsome stranger, and apparently he has some sinister plan. But this is the lowest book on my Kindle TBR and has a 3.37 rating on Goodreads. So not too bad, but also not great. So we're just gonna have to see how this goes. The last one on my list is Ibiki, and this is to read a book about deception. I am going to go with a book I'm currently reading. I really just need to finish it, but I put it down for the past like month and a half, maybe even close to 2 months now, and that is Nation of the Sun by H.R. Moore. This was given to me by the author for review, and so I should finish it. What I've read so far, I'm really liking it, but it is basically about demons who reincarnate every time they die. So they die and then they reincarnate, but when they're reincarnated, they don't have any of their memories and slowly have to get those back by the other demons who basically have to go and find them, like remind them sort of thing. But it follows a young woman. She is a reincarnation of like one of the major demons in this story. It starts off with her at her wedding, and apparently someone from her past shows up and was like, hey, we're meant to be together, we're basically lovers. And she's like, I've never met you in my entire life, get away from me. And it kind of goes from there because she doesn't remember who he is. So she gets married. Her fiance is supposed to be like some hotshot like defense attorney, but he doesn't seem like the best person in my opinion so far. Yeah, he goes to work instead of going on his honeymoon with his new wife. So here we are. This other demon who goes to her and tries to rekindle her feelings or memories so she can like be herself again. Seems interesting. They seem to have a dark past that is in the synopsis, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So I will be reading Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter, The Beautiful and the Damned by Renee Ahdieh, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nan, Kingdom Cold by Brittany Chanel, and Nation of the Sun by H.R. Moore. So that is 6 books on my October TBR, and I'm spending 2 whole weeks in hotel quarantine in Tokyo and have like a 14-hour plane ride. So I should be able to get most of these done within the first 2 weeks, but I will have some time probably to read after I move into my new apartment in Japan. So we'll just have to see how I do. These are chunky books. Not a single one of these is small. So I'm either doing myself a favor by being able to keep myself busy, or I'm basically punishing myself for no goddamn reason. So let me know if you are playing in the Naruto Adventure TBR game. I know a couple people were doing it before I took a hiatus for my Full Metal reading challenge. Let me know if you are continuing or if you're just kind of letting it flow by the wayside. I totally understand. But yes, I'm curious if any of you are coming back to do this, or if you are new to this game and deciding to participate from the very beginning. Please let me know also. I'd love to chat. If you are participating in the Naruto TBR game, please let me know if you would be interested in a Discord channel. I'd be up to making one if I had people that would be in there talking and participating with me instead of just like a ghost town like most of my Discord channels. But yes, please let me know. I'm open to making one. And that is it. Thank you for watching my video. I think this one got a little long, but I had a lot of fun coming back to this Naruto Adventure TBR game that I made. I'm just super proud of it. It's one of my favorite things on this channel, my most watched videos on this channel, and so yes. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below if you haven't already. Hit that bell button for notifications if you also haven't done that already, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. I love. Bye!